The following podcast may be explicit. Shedcast presents Adventures from the Shed, a tabletop RPG podcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com. Join us at our table in the shed as Mickie, JJ, Kurt, Mike, and Joe gather around to play Star Wars Age of Rebellion beginner game. In this 3-episode series, we start episode 1 with a preview. Enjoy the podcast.
Hi, and welcome to the Shed for Adventures from the Shed. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com, on iTunes, Facebook, Twitter, and other places.
Stitcher Radio.
Stitcher Radio as well. Google Plus. Hey, thanks, guys.
Hey.
And I am Joe, and we're going to go around the table and say hi, and we're going to go over to...
Hi, everyone. It's Mickie here in the shed for yet another adventure with the boys. Let's see how this one goes.
JJ here. I volunteered and tried to help do some good in the city I live in, and I put my back out. So if you hear any grunts, moans, or complaints from me, just ignore them.
Rectum.
Hey, this is Kurt Schumacher. I am super pumped to be here because we have a new game to play today. You're about to hear all about it.
His name is theme music.
Mike, and I can't wait to play. This is going to be fun. I got to actually be a Mon Calamari, so
Awesome.
I look forward to it.
It's a trap.
And we're back to
All right,
Joe.
back to Joe. So we are going to be playing the Star Wars Age of Rebellion beginner game. A couple of us have bought the box. We have a few sets of dice. We also have these neat dice bags. And we are going to have some fun playing this game. But first, this first episode, however long it lasts, will be us looking over what we received in the boxes and talking about a little, plus we'll get a little bit of the background on each of the characters. I will start on my side and just describe what we actually received in the box. So there are 3 things that say read this first, read this second, and read this book last. So the first thing we get is just a short little pamphlet that talks about what is a role-playing game and gives an example of the gameplay, and on the back of it gives a setup for the scenario.
Joe, what's a role-playing game? I don't know.
It's only one paragraph. I'll read this. A role-playing game, or RPG, is an exciting, cooperative storytelling experience. Like many games, it has rules, components, and dice to help describe and resolve the action. Unlike most games, an RPG has no winner or loser. Clearly, they haven't listened to us play. And no opposing teams. Everyone has fun, and everyone wins.
Or everyone loses.
It sounds like the opposite of Monopoly.
Read it again as James Earl Jones.
Maybe next. And then the second one is the adventure book. So, and when we play this, we're actually going to play it in the order that it says to. But for the purposes of having a podcast without a lot of empty space in it while we figure things out, we've started to look at some of these things ahead of time. And the adventure book is essentially for the GM. It starts with a page, again, that talks about what a role-playing game is. And then it says, if you're not the GM, don't read anymore. And that book itself, the adventure book, is 31 pages. So it's not a very long adventure book, and it has some nice charts on the back. And interestingly, the book that is read this last is the rule book. So they intend you to play this game right out of the gate with everything you need right off the first book, the adventure book. So that's some of the things that came in the box, and in addition to that, we have what they call the character folios. So there are 4 different characters, and we'll hear about those in a moment. And then we have some of the cardboard counters that are pop out of the sheet type of counters, and they're all the pieces that you need to play the adventure game. And lastly is a map. Of course, there are a couple little advertising things from Fantasy Flight Games, but the things that apply to the Age of Rebellion beginner game are what I've described so far. I guess lastly, it really would be the dice. You get one set of
1,100 dice.
Yeah. And we'll talk about those as we go, too. So who wants to take a look at the character folio and talk about what you see there and what you think of it, like how you think it's laid out? I know we don't know how to play the game yet. But
no idea how to play this game. It's really colorful.
Yeah.
I like that it's the pre-gen characters. It's kind of like you turn the page and, oh, look, you're leveled up. So that's nice. You don't have to figure anything out, try to add up stuff until you've got a little more experience, and then you turn the last page, and then you get to actually do some custom. It looks like you'll be able to do some customizable stuff.
Right. It's like turning the pages when you level up, which is kind of neat.
I like that.
The pre-gen characters are surprisingly super fleshed out. Like there's nice pictures of them. There's backstories. They have like all these different charts and things. So it looks overwhelming right now, but I'm sure it'll be fine once we get going.
We'll see.
What do you think of what you see there, Kurt?
I agree. It's a larger pre-gen pamphlet than I've seen in the other beginner boxes. Looks like it's about 6 to 8 pages of content, including level up, as Mickie said. Graphically, very nicely laid out. I don't know about any of the details yet. We'll figure that out as we play. But also for each one on the back page, there's a full page kind of backstory for the character, which is always helpful in a role-playing game. The more backstory you have, the easier it is to get into your character.
Yeah, I think as part of this this kickoff episode here, we are going to read some of those. Maybe not fully. We'll do maybe some summaries, but we are going to read and get a listen to how they've actually written these character backstories. JJ, what do you think of that thing? The
I really
character
like
folio.
how it really is helping you understand. Everything's labeled. Like there's numbers beside anything you might have a question about. The only thing I don't like about it is my character apparently stinks because I'm looking at everyone else's character sheets and they got like 4 or 5 dice they get to roll, and I get to only roll 3 at any given time period in the story. That's it.
You're
You
very
rock.
sneaky. So you got to make up for it with the sneak.
The sneak.
We should tell the people at home that although we haven't gotten into the rules yet, this
Well,
is
go
a
ahead.
totally different mechanic than D&D
Yeah.
or D20
With
or
that-
Dungeon World.
With
So,
that,
yeah.
let's talk about the dice a little bit. Who wants to describe these dice they see in front of them?
So there is, like I said, about 1,100 for each of us.
you know,
and,
I'm actually going to count them while you're saying it.
and there's various colors. The colors match up with the different things like ability, proficiency, difficulty, challenge, boost, setback, and force dice. So there's like 2 or 3 dice of each color, and
different shapes, different sizes.
Joe counted them, and I couldn't
14.
understand
There's
what he
14
said.
of them. And there are no D10s.
I held
or
up 14
D4s.
fingers.
No, but there's like
D12s,
explosive
D8s, and
things,
D6.
and there,
Yeah, as a point to that, there are actually no numbers on any of the dice.
It's all symbols.
All symbols, which is
Yeah.
kind of interesting. So yeah, we have 14 dice here. I did mention early on as part of the fun, for me, the fun of kind of kicking the game off. Fantasy Flight Games has these dice bags, and I've got the Rebellion symbol dice bags, or the Rebel symbol dice bags for the players, and I got the Empire dice bag for myself. So that's something fun. And of course, you definitely want extra sets of these dice if you're putting multiple people around the table to play it. Otherwise, you're going to be handing those 14 dice you get. You'll be handing several of them around the table if you only keep the one set that came with the beginner set.
I think that's allowable though, because the game doesn't seem like
Yeah.
it's going to take that long to really interpret the dice rolls.
Right.
You
You're
know,
not gonna
you
be
don't
doing-
need any fortune teller training to figure out what the dice
know-
is trying to tell you.
although
But you're not reading runes here?
the dice do have symbols, so you're gonna have to. There's gonna be like a learning period of learning these symbols instead of it saying like hit or success on the dice, which would be real nice. But I'm pretty sure after a play session or two, I will know half
Yeah.
the symbols.
And it was mentioned too, I can't remember who just said it, but as well as the character folio is laid out, on every page you actually get to see what all the different dice are and what all the symbols mean. It's something that we will need to learn, and there will be a bit of a learning curve there, and it'll take some time, but it is laid out there for us, which is kind of neat.
And of course, like most of our other sessions, I've actually delved into it enough
Yeah.
that I'll be able to look at your dice and confirm whether or not you added them up correctly.
And playing the role of rules lawyer, everyone, it'll be JJ.
So if everyone wants to figure their own out, make sure you cover your dice when you roll them.
Yeah,
Well,
Kurt needs to take a break on the weekends from being a real lawyer, so he'll let JJ be the rules lawyer.
Nice.
Exactly. I'll also just mention this game, I think retail price, correct me if I'm wrong, something like $29, but it's about $22, $23 on
Yeah.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Just the dice on Amazon are $13.50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want to play the game, you really probably should just buy the box. And,
And these dice bags are like $6.50 or something like that. So Just to give people an
But
idea of
it's sort of
what we have
reasonable.
on our table. Yeah,
Right.
I thought the pricing for everything seems reasonable.
Yeah.
You're getting into a new game. The dice you get with the game will carry over to the regular Star Wars RPG, the full game with
Yeah.
the rule books.
It
So
fits
that
seamlessly,
sticks with
and
me.
it fits seamlessly with the other one, the Rebellion.
It's
No,
on the
we're-
back
Edge
the-
of Empire.
Edge of Empire.
Yeah,
Thank
it-
you.
Yeah, for people at home who may not be familiar, the Fantasy Flight makes multiple Star Wars games that can potentially fit together. The first one is Edge of Empire, which takes place in the Star Wars universe, but out the Outer Rims, and you play bounty hunters and pilots and all this stuff, but you're not tied directly to anything from the original trilogy or the prequels, as far as I know. Whereas this game we're playing today, and we'll get into it more, but it's set kind of around the time of New Hope, or between New Hope and Empire, I think.
Now, do we know that they acquired licensing from LucasArts before they were bought by Disney, or
I have
after?
no
Do we
idea.
know any of this information?
No.
Well, I know the third game is coming out, which is going to focus on Force-sensitive
So
players
then
this year.
Then Disney had to have given them permission. Then cool, I like it.
That's
We're
good.
playing a Disney game. Way to go, guys!
I'm a
Yay.
Disney princess.
Well,
You're a
you
Disney
got the girl
princess.
character.
Yeah,
We should totally play the Mickey RPG after this.
totally do it. Do it.
Kingdom Hearts, the RPG.
That would be really fun. I
It
would be
would
Sephiroth.
probably be really good.
So now with this system, I'm going to just look at the back of the adventure book. And JJ, you've got one there too. If
Yep.
you would, we can hand these around, and you can see kind of the way it's set up to work. So when you go to roll the dice, you're rolling the green and yellow dice. You can see that on the character sheet a little bit. And then there's difficulty, and the difficulty is measured by purple dice. How difficult something is how many purple dice you roll in opposition or at the same time to oppose the yellow and green ones. So JJ, what do you think of the system? Because you read up a little bit on it too.
As far as what, like,
As far as it's a system we haven't played, what do you think's going to happen? What do you?
I think it's
what's
an
a good-
interesting.
good and bad.
You know, it's easiest for me to look through the lens of games I've already played,
Yeah.
and I see this as a pretty decent bridge between the Dungeon World system and the D&D system.
Mm-hmm.
There's more rules than Dungeon World, but the way the roles, like in D&D, you either succeed or fail.
Right.
With this, there's levels of success and levels of failure, just like there is in Dungeon World. So I really like how that works. I think there's skills there. There's a lot of different skills.
Yeah,
and
that's a
I'm
good
not
point. On
sure
the back of the
how
rule
many
book,
of
yeah.
these will actually get used on a regular basis.
It definitely reminds me more of D&D with all the skills.
I think they'll be used a bit in the published adventure because just like a D&D published adventure, there's spots where you're going to get to that it says you need to roll perception.
Exactly.
And that's what you're going to roll.
Like,
But-
for example, D&D has animal handling. Who
Yeah.
actually takes points in animal handling?
Ooh, I remember.
yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, animal handling could easily be bundled into nature or something else rather than being its own skill. Like, it's kind of like back from 3.5 when they had like 50 bajillion skills.
Well, yeah, they had animal handling canine, animal handling feline.
And, you know,
Too
sneak,
much stuff.
hide, tumble, dodged were all different skills. And
Yeah.
and
just
yeah,
agility.
and so I'm liking that. I'm liking the fact that there is a lot of different skills, but I'm also disliking the fact that I don't think they're all going to come up.
Yeah. I think, yeah, we'll see as it goes. That's one of the things that's interesting to me on these character folios, where next to the skill, you have a rank for it, and we'll learn what those things are as we get started. But then it actually tells you the dice pool that you're rolling when you use that skill.
Yeah.
I don't know what the regular character sheet looks like for it, but at least these character folios in the starter set, beginner game, are good in that respect. They give you something that you know what to roll when that skill is called upon. That's good.
Cool.
Should we talk
wanna
about our
read-
characters?
you wanna read the character
let's do
stuff
that.
now?
Let's you guys take a couple of minutes. Go
Want us to
whatever
read it out
order you
loud?
like. You can read
No,
the whole thing
summarize.
out loud if you like. Summarize it
notes.
however
you
you
can do
want
whatever
to do it.
you want.
Cliff
Yes.
notes. You know I always do whatever I want anyway.
Yeah.
I'll be playing Zal. She's the ace in this story. And according to her backstory, Zal's kind of a bit of a black sheep in her family. She's never really fit in. She joined the Empire, actually, into Imperial Naval Academy, trying to kind of make a name for herself. She always wanted to be a starfighter, but she always came up against discrimination, harassment, or harassment, depending on which side of the pond you're on, and derision from her instructors. So she never really got promoted. She finally shared her frustration with a friendly senator and learned that she'd been denied combat posting because the Naval Command suspected her of rebel sympathies due to her Chandrillian, let's call it that, upbringing. So she was frustrated with that and ended up proving the Empire correct by joining the Rebel Alliance. She's been assigned to Starfight Squadron, the Soaring Dactylians. Woohoo! And she's been in several combat situations, and she carries with her a lucky charm, which is the only thing that she has from her home planet.
What is that lucky charm?
The kids are going to be after it.
We're going to call it a medallion. They don't really explain it here. At least I missed it.
Medallion works.
We'll just call it a medallion. She's got a special medallion she wears around her neck. So here she is, Zal, the ace. She's part of the Soaring Dactylians, and that's what we'll call her for now.
She sort of looks like she would have a British accent, but
Yeah, can I see her?
She reminds me a little. You said Starbuck from BSG,
Yeah.
Battlestar Galactica. Yeah, she's got a brunette Starbuck. Is what
She's
we
pretty
call
hot.
yeah.
Agreed.
For those at home who might care about those things.
So
If you're shallow like me.
All right, so I'm JJ. I'm going to be playing the spy. The name they gave him is Vendry. We'll keep that going, though I suspect I'll be known just as Ven, or Venn diagram, maybe. So Vendry is a Duros. Duros were one
definitely
of
a
the
race that I haven't heard of.
Yeah,
but,
I'm
so
actually
that's
surprised.
the blue guy, right?
Yeah, the blue guy.
There were a couple of those in Mos Eisley.
The cantina.
yeah,
so
but
far, yeah.
like you don't really hear the name Duros
no.
in any of the movies.
But
whereas
I don't know most of the races that were in that canteen at the
Yeah,
time.
but I mean, the only one I can think of right now off the top of my head is Twi'lek,
And the
Yeah.
Mos Calamari.
the Mos Calamari. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a trap!
So Vendry is a gardener, apparently. He creates zoos and landscaping and that sort of stuff, and he has joined the Rebel Alliance because of the fact that the Empire allowed him to continue his business within the Empire, even though he was a non-human. But
Wait, did you say he joined the Alliance or joined the Empire?
he is allowed to work within the Empire, but he has joined the Alliance because of the fact that the Empire is so anti-alien. Are they aliens anymore at this point?
Well, in a way.
What's the politically correct term in the Star Wars universe for
non-human?
It's just another species.
Or xenophobic?
Yeah. So yeah, because he's a non-human, they don't like him, but they let him work because of his quality of work. And I notice here that I don't have any skill whatsoever with plants. I don't have a green thumb.
Is
So
there
no,
a
that's
skill
why.
for
That's
that?
why I don't have 4 in anything. That's why I only have 3, and that's the most dice I have. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a bummer for you.
He's a gardener, but he's terrible with plants.
But no, I'm great at computers. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the gardening
Yeah.
skill is good.
Yeah, I don't think there is a gardening skill.
It seems like a big step from a gardener to a spy.
Yeah, right?
You know, I'm thinking and it's specifically saying it wrong, but the scene where they're talking about getting the plans for the Death Star, and the lady says many botanists died. I'm thinking many botanists died to bring us this information.
Well, I thought the backstory was going to be, he was a nice gardener and joined the Alliance because they killed his basil plants.
That killed his weed plants, man.
For the carrots.
Yeah. Why don't I do mine? I am playing, we're going to say Kale.
Kale.
Cael. Kale Chips. He is a human soldier who was born into one of Alderaan's noble houses, the House Haneris, and really had a life of leisure and could have had it all. In a lot of ways I did. I basically spent my youth playing sports and being popular with the ladies and all those things that you would expect from any character played by me.
It sounds like the opposite of the lame.
Kurt himself.
I was never opposed to the Empire. I was actually very much a pacifist and believed that we could work to change systems by improving the system from within, and that fighting would only be kind of affirming that might makes right, which is what brought the Empire to power in the first place. All of this changed quickly, however, when my home planet of Alderaan was destroyed by the Death Star and my world was shattered. I happened to be off-world at the time, playing with Team Alderaan in the Galactic Cup, but when the news reached us, I was devastated, and that had basically turned me to the Alliance. I used my family's resources and money to charter a ship, flew back to Alderaan itself. As I stared at the asteroid-strewn, I'm just reading this part here, the asteroid-strewn void that used to be my home, something inside me broke.
Aww.
So I'd been committed to
cute.
peace and nonviolence, but now I realize that had come to nothing. Confronted by the ashes of my world, I renounced my pacifism, joined the Empire, quickly took my chartered vessel to Chandrila, and found members of the Rebel Alliance eager to recruit a young athlete. In a matter of weeks, I went from being an athletic star to a soldier, and I've never looked back.
See, now I don't remember there being sports in the Star Wars movies, so I'm wondering what the Galactic
Pod
Cup-
racing, man.
The game is Limmy.
That was a
I was a
sport.
Limmy
Yeah.
star.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
if you're like
It's Quidditch with
if you're
speed racers.
passive and peaceful, you probably weren't very competitive.
I don't know.
I don't know, maybe that's how I got my aggression out. I don't know.
It could be.
I feel bad not knowing what Limmy is. I'm sure some expanded universe people could tell us, but that's what I was really good at.
Well, cool. And I am playing Tendar Taco Bell. He is a Mon Calamari engineer. He grew up being very brilliant. He studied at the Choral Collegium, where he was super smart, but sort of a social misfit. He did the classes that his parents want him to take, but he really just wanted to get out there and do his thing. But then the Empire enslaved his planet. Being a gifted engineer, he went to work with the Empire crafting starships. But when he was finally freed, he joined the Rebel Alliance and did his part to take out the Empire. And he sort of has a problem with authority, but he loves puzzles. So that'll be fun, I guess.
I also have to say, I've been sitting here for an hour and just noticed that Mike is wearing the 34th annual Kessel Fun Run shirt.
Uh-huh.
The Outer Rim Territory's most thrilling 12 parsec race.
And it's to benefit Wookiee Pox.
Wookiee Pox Awareness Foundation.
That's nice.
Love it.
And it has different advertisers on it too.
Yeah, it's a Fun Run T-shirt for the Kestrel Run in Star Wars, not Trek.
Whoa.
I think I deserve time out.
I'll mark that down as the first time that I say that.
That's the first dark side point there.
Why are those two universes so divided? It's hilarious.
Because one is so awesome.
Yeah, and then there's Star Wars.
You can like, oh,
Man.
I agree with you.
All right. What else do we want to cover on this? I think we're pretty close to wrapping up the intro to it. But are there any other thoughts you guys have about what we're about to get into?
No, I'm ready to get started.
Do it. Let's play, baby. Let's play.
Gameplay.
Just stop calling me baby.
I'll do whatever you want. Just don't call me baby.
All right, everybody, we're going to sign this one off. It's just a quick intro to the beginner game for Star Wars Age of Rebellion. We'll stop it here. Everybody want to say...
Bye, everyone.
Later, players.
It's going to be a Wookiee penis for these.
We've heard about the characters and the materials in the beginner game. Now, let's move on to the first play session of Star Wars Age of Rebellion beginner game.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. Takeover at Whisper Base. War rages across the galaxy. Both the brutal Galactic Empire and the desperate Rebel Alliance reel in the face of terrible losses. Though Rebel forces managed to destroy the superweapon called the Death Star, their victory did not come in time to save the world of Alderaan. Fear and uncertainty swell in the galactic community. Now, one small battle begins on the verdant world of Alderaan. Deep in the jungle, Rebel intelligence has discovered a listening post built by Moff Dardano to spy on his rival, Admiral Corlin. The Rebel Alliance has sent a crack team of infiltrators to take the secret listening post and turn it into a forward Rebel base in the Japrael system. After hours of slogging through the dense jungle with its poisonous foliage and oppressive heat, the heroes have reached their destination, Whisper Base. Compared to staying in the jungle, the prospect of ambushing an Imperial patrol and breaking into a heavily guarded base seems almost pleasant.
I do like how we all forgot how the Star Wars thing goes after the first original thing and just replayed that
Everyone was
part
winging
over
it.
and over again for 4 minutes.
So hi, and welcome to the Shed for Adventures from the Shed. If you hadn't guessed, we are playing Star Wars. Officially, we are playing Star Wars Age of Rebellion Beginner Game. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com and Google Plus and Facebook and Twitter and iTunes. Yep, we're on iTunes, Stitcher Radio.
Yeah. Go to iTunes. Rate us.
Yes, go to
Review
iTunes.
us.
And more ratings. I think we're still at 5 stars on iTunes.
We're still
but
doing good.
Let's keep it going. I am going to go around the table. Now, this time we're going to say your character name and the class, and if you can remember a sentence or two from the backstory. So go ahead.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mickie. I will be playing Zal, the ace. She is human. Can everybody hear me now? Awesome
Yeah.
sauce.
Yeah.
She is the fighter pilot, ace pilot, crack shot, part of the Soaring Dactylians, and has joined the Rebel Scum. Go ahead.
Nice.
Are Dactylians sort of like pterodactyls?
Well, actually, she's the last remaining Dactylians. All her squadron left, or all her squadron died, and now she's part of the special operations as part of the rebellion.
That is a
Dactylian.
sort of a...
Dactylians. Whatever. Read your damn thing.
Name lawyer.
Right? Gosh, JJ here playing Benjry the Spy. I am a Duros. I am a non-human. I am blue and very, very bald.
He's the gardener spy.
I am the Gardener Spy. I don't even understand how that happens, but
Why not?
we're going to roll with it.
Awesome.
I get it. Roll.
Roll with it. Very nice.
Hey, this is Kurt. I'm playing Kale. I am the soldier for this adventure. And briefly, I was born to a noble house on Alderaan, had a life of leisure, money, wealth. But my world changed when Alderaan was destroyed by the Death Star, and as a result, I have joined with the Alliance to fight against the Empire.
Came out of hyperspace through in some asteroid field or something. Right.
Something like that.
Yeah. And I am Mike Robertson, playing Tendar Taco Bell, a Mon Calamari engineer, who he's very brilliant, not very socially well respected, but he's real brilliant, and he's going to invent some stuff and enjoy his puzzles.
I promise. I will invent some stuff.
He's real brilliant, and he's probably going to invent some stuff.
Yeah.
I like it.
He's going to invent some stuff, sort of like I invent the rules.
There we go. And I am Joe. I am the game master. I think it is game master. I always try and get the term right, but it is game master for this system. So I'm the game master for this Star Wars Age of Rebellion beginner game. And we're going to play this like we've played a couple other games that we received and are going to play it kind of right out of the box. So there will be some explanation of what we're doing as we're going to try and help people become familiar with the game, both at this table and for those listening to the podcast. So what we're going to start with is within the box, there are 3 things to read. We've already gone through the read this first, which is really what's a role-playing game and gives an example of gameplay. And now we're going to the adventure book, which is the one labeled read this second. It also has a little intro to the role-playing, and then it goes on to the setup. So for me, this is the book that I get as the game master. And what we're going to do here is I'm going to read a little bit of what's in the book, even though normally it would not be there. So part of the setup is once all the heroes have their character folios, it's time for us to begin. And we all have them. That's what was described by each of the players as we went around the table. And we then put the dice where we need them. We all, fortunately, have our own dice so that we have we don't have to be passing them around the table so much. But in the beginner set, you get one set of dice, so normally you would share those. So we place the dice where we need them. We place the map in between all players with the Whisper base side showing. We have that. And then each hero player should find the appropriate character token from among the available cardboard tokens and keep it nearby.
I just did that.
We have that. Great. And of course, also helpful to have pencil, pen, and scrap paper. And we have that. So when everyone's ready, we read the opening crawl is what they call this. I don't know why they call it a crawl, but that's what they call it. And it is what I would normally say is the narrative text. Some people say flavor text. But that is what we read with our epic opening to this podcast. But it's that takeover at Whisper Base. So I'm just going to read the very end of it again. And at this point, you guys are the Rebel Alliance crack team of infiltrators that are going to take over this listening post. And after hours of slogging through the dense jungle with its poisonous foliage and oppressive heat, you've reached Whisper Base. Compared to staying in the jungle, the prospect of ambushing an Imperial patrol and breaking into a heavily guarded base seems almost pleasant. Now, where that setup leads to is our first look at the rules. So at this point now, because of your slogging through the jungle, the time you spent, each PC now suffers 2 strain to represent his or her exhaustion from the stress of slinking through the jungle, dodging Imperial patrols, and stinging insects. So what you do, find that spot on your character folio and mark 2 strain in the appropriate place. Of course, you can do it on your scrap paper or however we're doing it, right?
Don't want to make our pretty shiny sheets all messed
And then
up.
I will read you this description. It's a rules text. Strain reflects mounting fatigue and stress. If a character is ever suffering a total amount of strain greater than his or her strain threshold, that character collapses unconscious. So keep an eye on that. And let's, as a little primer getting used to it, let's go around. Mike, we'll start with you. What is the strain of your character, the strain threshold?
My strain threshold is 13.
As is mine. 13.
13? JJ?
12.
12 as well for
okay.
Zal.
So that gives us an idea. When they start with 2, it's not a whole lot yet. But if you were to get closer to your threshold, that's when you can just pass out, I guess, from being overstrained. So now for me, in the book it says, the adventure has now begun. Proceed to encounter 1.
I want to roll initiative.
Actually, in this one, you will not roll initiative because in the first encounter, they skip initiative, so you learn how to play the encounter, and we'll be rolling initiative later. But you'll see how that goes.
Do we roll some force points?
We'll be doing that later as well. They actually have a lot of this stuff. I kind of like the way it's set up, where you jump right into the game, and you kind of read the only rules that matter to the encounter. Okay. And that's all that we'll be playing at each point.
So we're coming in from the jungle or approaching the maintenance entrance?
We'll find out shortly.
Can we roll for
There's
our
some new
chance
rules.
of getting with Princess Leia?
Yes, you have to roll a 10-sided die.
Slim to none.
Yes. Roll your yellow dice that doesn't have any numbers on it.
Roll a 10-sided die. That one will do it. You know,
It doesn't.
There are no 10.
There are no 10-sided dice.
he's the one that said it, and the other one. Hello. All right, so here we have some more narrative text, or if they call it a crawl, I will call it a crawl. You step out of the humid, insect-ridden jungle and into the relative cool of the garage. Is there a garage on there?
Okay.
Garage.
You guys are going to be
Garage.
there. Go ahead and put your character tokens in the garage.
No, the garage is over here.
Well,
The
that whole
garage-
thing is the garage.
The whole thing is garage.
'Cause those are
That's just
speeder
the
bikes.
maintenance entrance.
Okay.
There we
this is
go.
just the entrance. So we're in the garage.
This garage serves as an entrance to Whisper Base, an Imperial listening post deep in the wilds. For the first time since your ship delivered you to Onderon and departed, the hum of machinery drowns out the sounds of the jungle. Your task here is simple enough. Cut the comm line, disable Whisper Base's lone shuttle, then overcome the Imperials in the base without letting the commander, Lieutenant Serev, Escape to report the base lost. Simple, but by no means easy. The smell of machine oil hangs in the air all around the garage. You see a number of speeder bikes, as well as a pair of ATST walkers, and their hatches locked. There are several crates in the room, as well as a number of fuel tanks. A large metal door on the other side of the bay, sealed by a complex lock, leads into the base itself. You find the comm line you've been told to cut and slice through it, severing Whisper Base from the outside world with a hiss and a spray of sparks. Soldiers from the base will soon investigate the disturbance. Fortunately, this is part of the plan. Taking one of their code cylinders will let you get past the locked door without raising an alarm. What do you do to prepare for their arrival?
All right, so obviously
this is where it goes from me to you guys. So what do you guys want to do to prepare for the arrival? I wouldn't worry too much about what the map looks like yet, because I don't think it really matters in Encounter 1. But it gives us a visual that you guys are in the garage and there's the rest of the base. So what do you do to prepare for the impending arrival of the soldiers?
Are the ATSTs locked?
Yes, they were specifically labeled as hatches locked.
I would like to rig one of the speeder bikes so that I could shoot it at them like a missile when they come down the stairs.
That's an awful loud noise.
Well, they're coming down the stairs. I know we're here already.
Well, no, they
You
just
said
know
something-
wires been
They
cut.
don't know why
they
they're
don't know. You said something about a code cylinder.
Yeah,
Help
so
us unlock the door?
The
Well, we have to get
complicated
it from
door
them.
that goes into the base proper is locked. And according to what I read, yes, one of the soldiers should have the key, right? The code
Okay.
cylinder.
So we need to take one of
Yeah.
the soldiers alive, or
And that's part of the plan. You cut the comm, you're expecting them to show up, and you want to take one of the cylinders. So how do you do this?
Do we know how many soldiers are coming?
No.
Um,
You're just presuming they're about to show up.
Well,
I'll
I
give
am
you-
down with the idea generally of speeder bike rockets.
And-
I think it may not be the approach that we want to take for this particular encounter.
we want to play it stealthy.
Man.
I want to try to hide behind the crates over here.
Okay. So hiding is one.
Yeah. So,
So, and
behind
I'll
the
give you-
stairs.
As I like to do, even though this normally doesn't happen at the table, because it's a podcast and we're playing a beginner game, I'll read some of these things out. So essentially, the way this is intended to run, and remember, it's a beginner game, so you're expecting either everyone's a beginner or they're going to act like it. In this case, we will definitely at the table overanalyze some things, and I'll bring this up as we do. But it says essentially each player or each PC has one chance to hide before the soldiers enter the garage bay from the base. Doing so requires a skill check, but then they give other things like you could hide behind a crate, under a table, behind one of the ATSTs, and that would be essentially a stealth check. But there are other examples they give. None of which, there are 5 examples, other options, none of which are rocket bikes.
Man.
Of course, they never think of the cool part.
The cool ones are never the best, I guess.
But so what I would want to do is everybody going to try and be unseen? Is everyone going to hide?
I think I'm going to try to hide.
All right, so we're going to go with that, but let me give you what they gave as a couple other examples. So when the soldiers arrive, you could try to convince them that they're your newly arrived recruits, which is a deception skill.
Except none of us are Jedis that can go, we're not the people you're looking for.
Climbing a beam and staying very still, they say, is coordination. Kind of interesting idea, at least. That leads me to what coordination actually means for them. Prying open a crate and climbing inside would be athletics. Picking the lock to an unpowered ATST and stepping inside would be skullduggery, which is a nice skill name.
I'm terrible at skullduggery.
Yeah. And sliding under one of the speed bikes and pretending to perform repairs would be cool. I didn't know there was a cool skill. I never paid
Yeah,
attention to
Oh,
that.
yeah,
cool
yeah.
is keeping your cool,
Yeah.
like the
So
pawns.
you're pretending you're supposed to be there.
Right.
I should do that.
Like the soldiers.
I know, right? Can I change my
I'm an
answer?
engineer.
No, I wanted to get the answer out of the way before I threw it in
Damn
there.
it.
But I think it's cool that you're pretending to be a mechanic on the bike, like these guys don't know who the mechanics are. Chances are one of these is probably the mechanic. Anyway, all right, so here we go. We're going to be performing the skill check. Each player will do the following. So you collect your pool of dice, and this is where we have to go through some of the steps here. So you're going to look at stealth, because everyone chose to hide. And you'll look at the pool of dice you use for stealth.
And
And you are going to add 1 purple difficulty die.
Thank you.
How do we know what we use for stealth? We look
It
at,
says it
It
on the
says
chart.
stealth.
Yeah, right on your character.
Does everyone have a different dice
Yep.
pool?
Well, you might have the same for some skills, but you have your own individual dice pools for your character itself. So let's go. Yeah, we can start with Mike since you already rolled. So you've got, remember, failure symbol, success symbol. So you've got the boom and the triangle, however we want to
All right.
word it.
With all of them together, I have 1 advantage and 2 successes, so I am very hidden.
All right. So the way we're going to play this is only what is in encounter 1 that we're talking about, which they don't mention the advantage and threat yet. But what matters here is, as long as there is at least 1 success symbol left over after you cancel out success and failure, it succeeds. All right. I just want to look and see here. You do that, you do that, you do that. Okay. Because so all we're going to care about right now is success or failure. All right. Who's next?
We're just
Mickie.
rolling our dice pool? Or
Yep.
dice pool plus something?
No, just your dice pool and,
And-
then the
and
one purple
one
die.
purple.
That's the
And the one
challenge rating that
Yeah.
he is giving you.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So this advantage cancels out the threat,
Yep, and you have the success.
and
Don't
I
worry
have
about
2
it.
We're gonna,
successes.
yeah.
Successes.
Leave your dice because we might get back to advantage and threat. But for now, we
Right.
just need to know success.
Now the spy's going to go. Watch me fail.
No, you did. Oh,
Oh,
I
you
ha-
sort of do.
I have-
It's sort of even.
I have no successes, no failures with advantage.
Okay. And lastly,
So I think I have a success
Fail.
symbol, and then I don't know what these other 2 are. I have a double star.
yeah.
Don't worry about it.
What you want to look
Successes.
at is a success and failure for now to see if
Do
you
I have any
succeeded.
failures?
You have a lot of successes.
You have 4 successes.
and only 1.
threat.
No, there's nothing. It's just 4 successes.
Yeah, and one
We're not
advantage.
worried about threat.
He critically
Succeeded.
He did well.
succeeded.
Okay.
So he gets to remove his 2 strain?
For now, we're going to skip that.
Okay.
I want to. Well, you know what? I think they even mentioned this here, so maybe we can. Hold on. So the character, the active character, this is the way they word it, the active character, the one who did the roll, in this case, everybody was active at some point. You can recover 1 strain per advantage symbol, but you also suffer 1 strain per threat symbol. So if your threat is higher than your advantage, then you actually suffer strain in this scenario right here.
So I get 1 back.
So
Yeah.
each advantage cancels out a threat,
Yeah,
and whatever
advantage
is
and
left
threat
over.
cancel.
So are these 2
That is 2,
successes?
yeah.
So I've got 0 strain.
Are successes considered advantages?
No. They are
No.
separate
Just so I have
symbols.
1 advantage.
Okay.
No, you have no
No.
advantage because
'Cause that
that's
canceled it out.
disadvantage.
Yeah, it cancels
Oh.
out.
So you have a bunch of successes, but you have no advantages.
Wait, where's the disadvantage?
The thing at the bottom, threat.
Despair?
Yeah.
So threats cancel out advantages.
So I have nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So you have nothing. But you did succeed.
Yeah.
Right.
I am the
Handily.
only one that did not succeed but did not fail.
All right. I think the way I'm going to do it is because we
But you
had
have 1
three.
advantage.
Yeah, we had 3 actual successes and no failure. I mean, let me just read this here. If a check results in more success than failure, the check succeeds. So I think technically it is a failure because it did not succeed.
Fair enough.
But I think since we got 3 of the 4, I'm going to go down the path of, and this is for me within the book, if the PCs hide or prepare themselves for the ambush successfully, I read this one. If there was a failure, and I would say if 2 failed, it might be different. But we're going to go down with the success one. All right, and here we go. So, as you slide into position for your ambush, you hear the sounds of hard boots on a poor stone floor and the idle chatter of Imperial soldiers coming from behind the locked door into the base. It's probably just a Canuck chewing the wires again. Was it the thing that was, the sucker thing? What was that? Minoc. Those were
Minocs,
Minocs. Kind of. All right, so that's what I thought it would be. Anyway.
So they're racist against Canadians?
Yeah, pretty much. The Canucks. It's just a Canuck chewing the wires again. You hear the door to the base click shut again behind them, and the soldiers walk past you towards the entrance to the base, apparently overlooking you. If you strike quickly and quietly, you can take them all out before they can trigger the alarm.
Do it.
Da-dun. All right, so that completes encounter 1, infiltration.
We leveled up?
Nope.
Oh.
I'll tell you. And so we move on
So
to...
we have to take them
Can I
out?
throw fireball yet?
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
Do we have to actually take them out? Do
This
we roll
is what
to
we'll
take
find
them
out. All right, so for encounter 2, it's called Springing the Trap.
Springing the trap.
Yes. All right. So what I want to do here is there are sentries, and that's this looking dude. I'm showing Mickie so she can grab the right counters. There is 1 per player, so there will be 4. Okay. And what we'll do is put them in there, right, just to show that they have come in. And because we're treating it as you guys were successful in your attempts to hide, you have advantage over the soldiers. Now, I don't think that means a capital A advantage like the term, but you have an advantage. Let me read here. Okay. So the first things we need to do for combat is we need to determine initiative. Now, initiative is predetermined in this. There will be no rolling. We need to have 3 PCs go, then the NPCs go, and then a 4th PC. You guys decide who's
Since
going
I
when.
failed the hide check, let's let them 3 go.
All
and
right,
I'll
so
go
you'll
last.
be the last one. Okay. Who wants to keep track
very
of
noble of
initiative?
I'll do it.
Mickey's got it. Go for it. So you're going to have then, who's going first?
Mike?
I'll go.
So Tendar,
Taco.
Taco. Who's second?
I'll go next. I'm
Kale.
the brawn in this group.
Kale.
Kale.
And then we'll have Val.
Yeah.
Then bad guys.
Bad guys.
You say it's Val, like V? I thought it was
Zal.
Zal. Wow.
It can be
'Cause I
Val.
wrote
No more
Zal.
drinks.
Well, they sound the same. They're very close to each other.
It would be really funny though if it was Valerie, the ace pilot.
BG1,
Valerie.
BG2, BG3.
So that's going to be
BG4.
our initiative. We have Tendar, Kale, Zal, the sentries, and then Vendry.
The sentries go as a group.
Yeah, that's how they treat it here, and I'm going just like it is. All right, so from here, the way it works is there's going to be, we determine the initiative, then the participants take turns, and then the round ends and a new round begins, and we keep that going until the encounter is over. So the first thing, again, I'm not going to read out the block completely, but there's a predetermined initiative based on how we got through the first part. I treated it as successful, so the initiative is 3 PCs, the NPCs, and then the 4th PC. So possible actions, when it's your turn, your possible actions include things like making an attack, using a skill, or performing a second maneuver, and then possible maneuvers include the different things you can do. Now, you can see this on your character sheet on the right-hand side, on the character folio.
Yep.
The right-hand side tells you these things. On your turn, you get an action and a maneuver. And I keep thinking maneuver as that's your move, thinking of the systems we know. You have a move and an action. But one of those maneuvers is called taking aim, or aiming, which is not really a move, so to speak, but it's there. So we'll do that. And what we need to do for it, I want to look at the attacking, because you guys are going to be attacking them, and I need to know how many difficulty dice. All right, I got it. Now.
So wait, aiming is
Go.
a maneuver, and readying a weapon is a maneuver.
Well, I'm sure we already had our weapons ready because we planned.
You were preparing for an ambush. We will treat you as weapons at the ready.
Okay.
All right. So it looks like they're letting me go first. So I would like to take my stun grenade out and throw it into the middle of them and hopefully stun them all.
Okay. Does it say what a stun grenade does?
Stun grenade, deal 8 stun damage on a hit, plus 1 damage for each uncancelled success. Blast 8, hit all characters engaged with target for 8 stun damage, plus blah blah blah. You have 1 stun grenade, it can be used once.
So, what did it say for range? Did it say ranged?
Short.
Ranged.
Short.
Light.
Short.
And then it's
I mean,
radius?
it has the same
Does it say
as
any kind of radius?
It has Blast 8, so, and it's a bunch of characters, so I
Okay.
assume that
It
that's...
does something. All right, let's see what happens. Go
All
ahead. Now, you are, if the range is short range,
Well, it's like Blaster. It's ranged light. And they're
Well, no, the
same.
range says short. It
No,
says the
they're
skill is
medium.
ranged light.
I got medium.
He's got
medium.
medium.
He's got medium on his stun grenade.
All right, so medium range is 2 purple dice. That is 2 difficulty dice added to your roll,
Or
Okay.
if you want to, you can get closer and throw it while you're closer, right?
and then stun yourself.
Let's stun myself. All right, here we go.
I think it's on purpose to do it at medium range. You don't want to use a grenade at close range.
Okay.
All right, so what do we got? Remember, count up the success and failure first. That should be what you
It
do
looks like
every
I
time.
have 1 success and 1 advantage because I have.
After everything's canceled out,
Canceled
one
out.
success, one advantage.
Yep.
Okay. Now, we can take that advantage. One thing you can do each time is you could take anytime you have an advantage point, you can use it to recover 1 strain. So we're
Okay.
going to say that'll be a standing rule. That can happen anytime. You could also spend 2 advantage to give a boost die to the next attack against the same target. So essentially it helps the next person that attacks them. All right, so you do that. And what is the damage it does, you said?
It does 8 plus 1 damage per uncanceled
So
success.
9 damage.
So 9
9 stun.
damage.
Okay. And one of the things that the enemies have in here is that they have no strain threshold, so whenever they suffer strain, they just suffer wounds instead. And their soak value is a 3, and their wound threshold is a 5, which is 8, and you're doing 9 damage to all of them.
Yep.
So the stun grenade goes off, and the 4 of them are currently defeated.
Yeah.
There's your start to the game.
I would like to, because there was a loud noise,
Yes.
I want to listen into my comms
Okay.
and see if, like try to hack into everyone else's comms to see if that's raised an alarm.
Okay.
And it says here in my comm suite and my gear, equipment, and other items, I communicate via comm links, use computer skill to jam or listen in.
Okay, go ahead. And because of the sound that just went on, we'll say it's an average check. Add 2 purple dice, 2 difficulty dice to your roll. Let's see what we get. Talk.
Uh-oh.
Talk. Make noise.
So I have 2 failure, 2 successes on the yellow dice, so that cancels out. I have 1 success left over with 1 threat.
Uh-oh.
Okay,
So 1 success,
1 success, 1
1
threat.
so we're going to use the threat in the opposite way as our default. You're going to suffer 1 strain.
Okay,
And we'll say that your ears are ringing from the stun grenade.
fair enough.
And that caused it, but you do not hear any alarms in the comm system.
All right, cool.
It was a stealthy grenade.
It was.
It was a stealthy grenade.
Loud, stealthy grenade. Because it lets your ears ring and you can't hear anything else going. Now, if the PCs win, the following goes on. And I'm going to paraphrase it like they say, because you took them all out. And the way it reads is, the last standing sentry reaches for a console with a button marked alarm. So you have taken the garage without alerting the rest of the post, and
Until he
now
pushed
have
the
a
alarm.
foot in the door of Whisper Base. You secure the code cylinder from the squad leader and use it to open the base door. The slab of gray metal swings open with a resounding clank. Before you stands a droid, carrying a map and a bucket and peering at you quizzically through its lenses. Greetings, unfamiliar individual. This unit has been ordered to see to the cleaning of the garage bay. Please pass through the door or step aside so that this unit can proceed with its onerous tasks.
Did we possibly hide the bodies in the crates before we left?
No, we didn't.
I mean, we didn't say that.
No, I mean,
But I was definitely thinking that we should do something with the bodies.
I didn't realize we were going to be going through the door so quickly.
Yeah.
At the end of the encounter, PCs have a chance to recover strain. Each PC recovers strain equal to his or her presence characteristic or ranks in the cool skill, whichever is greater.
So cool.
And I think that really presumes that you guys got into a battle, which didn't quite happen.
what is presence? I don't have that.
Presence is up here.
A characteristic, not a skill. Yep.
There it is.
Man, I got a lot of presents.
I think we should.
It's like Christmas.
I'm like Santa.
Just tell that robot that there's some trash in there for him to pick up.
I want to.
Ignore the humans on the floor.
I want to hack into the robot and give him a new
Okay.
objective so he doesn't raise
Before
an
we do
alarm.
that, I'm going to give a little bit more of the book stuff. So first off, that completes encounter 2. All right.
These go really fast.
Yeah. Well, they're just short things to learn the rules. You guys are supposed to learn a little bit about how combat works, but the stun grenade took care of that.
We learned.
So we'll get
Just let
there.
Mike
We learned
Just throw
stuns are
How many
awesome.
grenades do you have?
One.
That one?
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Interesting,
probably
I have
going to
a
be
couple-
important.
I have a couple different grenades, but they have short range. Frag grenade and an AP grenade.
I guess you have to work on your athletics.
yeah.
Well, see, that it's actually good because when you look at the range, the way it works, if the attack is at short range, it's easy, so you only add 1 purple die. If it's at medium, it's average, so you add 2 purple dice. And if it's at long range, it's a hard check, which is 3 difficulty dice.
Oh, and the purple dice have all bad things on them.
Yes.
Yes.
I see.
Yeah.
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 Purple, black, and red have nothing good on them.
Yeah.
Ah.
They are the negatives. All right, so we're back now. We're going to start
These are
encounter
all positive.
3, which is titled, by the way, Bargaining, if you want to get an idea of what that is about.
Ooh.
I fireball the
Bargaining.
shack.
Fireball to check.
The droid continues to look down at you, cocking its head to the side. This unit needs to complete the sanitation of this garage bay and then file its weekly report on the contents of the chamber. Please move aside, unfamiliar organic individual, so that this unit can finish its mandated tasks. Despite its combat-oriented design, the droid does not seem terribly threatening, nor is it making any immediate moves towards the room. It says toward the alarm, but the alarm didn't go off. It has a dark silver chassis pockmarked by rust, and a restraining bolt is fastened to its chest. Still, this droid could easily alert the base to your current position, spoiling any surprise you might have gained in the wake of the firefight. You'll need to convince it not to give your status away, one way or another.
I would like to super hack that droid.
Super hack.
And I have super hacking skills, so
right.
I think that's good.
All right, so what would you do?
I would use my computer skills to go behind the droid and reprogram him to go somewhere else, like maybe one of the other locations we need to go, and then follow him to those locations so we know which way to go.
I am looking to see if there's anything like what you just said, because they have examples in here. And I am saying
Is super hack an actual skill?
No,
No.
it's called computers. That's
It's
all.
what I make out.
Oh.
it's what I do.
Come on, Joe. I got 4 dice to roll.
Yeah, I know you do.
So many dice.
All right, so here's the funny part, because the whole point of this encounter is called bargaining, and it does not say anything about the players are just going to rewire the droid. It assumes you're actually going to talk to it.
Why would you?
Because
talk
it
to a
says
droid?
you'll need to convince it not to give your status away one way or another.
I'm going to convince it by reprogramming.
Okay.
Maybe it just shoots you when you try to touch
So
it.
what we'll do
It has a
is
mop.
this. It is a surprisingly quick droid that you cannot get behind. It keeps moving. It avoids you.
Can one of you grab him with your strength,
Well,
and then
Can I ask you a
reprogram
question?
him?
Can I ask you a question?
You sure can.
How long have you had that restraining bolt?
That's a damn good question. Let me see if that's actually in here. It gives me an idea of how it would answer, but let me see if it actually has an answer. I won't. It doesn't have a specific answer from him, but the answer I would give is so it is essentially a battle droid that's been pressed into maintenance service. And he would say, I've had this restraining bolt for many days. It is horrible. I do not want to do this work.
If we were to remove that from you, would you assist us?
This unit indeed does not wish to clean the garage bay, especially when it's so cluttered with organic debris. However, this unit's desires are irrelevant as long as its restraining bolt is active. Current tasks in descending order of priority: cleaning the garage bay, filing a report describing the presence of unfamiliar organic individuals in the garage bay.
Taco, you think you can remove that restraining bolt from him?
Yeah, probably.
Hey!
I'll remove it.
All right, so he hopes that the PCs will remove the restraining bolt. All right, so he explains, the droid says, this bolt is stopping my systems from functioning the way I wish them to function. I will give you instructions on how to remove it. So you get a boost die on your mechanics check to remove it. It is a mechanics check to remove.
I'm still good with that.
The blue dice.
So yes, you get a blue die added, and let me just see here. Hold on, I gotta give you difficulty. Nothing goes without difficulty, even
Simple.
an easy one. We're gonna say it. I think I'm gonna say it's easy. I'm just making sure it's not on here. Yes, 1 purple. Add 1 purple to 1 difficulty die to your pool. What do you get?
Which one?
All right. So
That's a whole lot of yes.
those are gone, and then I got like 4 successes and 2 advantages.
All right. So if you had any strain, of course, you can remove them.
Nope.
All right. So you remove the restraining bolt, and let's see what he does here. I think he actually does something specific. Hold on. Hold, please.
Hold on for one more day.
There you go. Keep doing that.
Come on, Kurt. Sing along.
Tired.
Hello?
Break
wanna
3
do Wilson
from
Phillips right now?
Che.
Oh, do me a favor. You still have all the dice there?
know the people
Add one. Roll 1 more purple. Because it does have a spot here that says it is 2 purple. There we go. So you
All right.
still end up with a success.
3 successes and
Yeah.
2 advantages.
Now, unless you're doing damage to something, attacking something, the amount of successes don't matter as long as it is a success.
I feel that it makes me feel good, though.
Oh, that's fine. And so for me, though, as far as the rules go, it is a success with how many advantages?
2.
All right, that's the important part for me. Okay. So you can use those successes to convince the droid to go away. Now that it no longer has to do its job, you can
All right.
convince it to go do something else.
You're good, Rusty. Keep
Rusty.
on going.
My name is Tor. I will leave now.
Are we going to go back in and hide the bodies?
No. We just talked the robot into leaving, so we don't have to worry about the bodies now.
So does that book just tell you that because it's success, we convince him to go away? We don't have to do a
It kinda-
charm check?
Kind
or-
of yes and no. That's what we're using the advantages for
Okay.
here.
Just curious.
Yeah, it is. So really what this, and that's that part of Encounter 3. So once the PCs, this is the end of it, once the PCs have convinced Tor not to report their presence or found a way to get rid of him, they can continue in their attack on the base. If they're not sure where to go next, Tor can point out that there is another way to leave the base, the launch pad. That's what we'll have him do. And that the command staff on the base could use it to escape. And that completes Encounter 3. So now
Nice.
that was page 16 of the book, which I was saying is like 31 pages. So
Now,
we're almost halfway, or we are halfway through the book.
are we forced now to go to the launch pad, or can we go to any of these nice places on the map?
At this point, it is expected that you are making your way to the launch pad because that's what Tor told you.
Okay.
You'll go around different places on the map because, well, there are different places you're going to go by the way the story leads you. Now, I think there's a spot a little later in here where it gets a little more open, but it's a beginner game. It's kind of like the D&D starter set where everybody's together, you get in the goblin ambush, and then you go to the goblin hideout, and then you go to the place where it opens up. So we're going through those first few railroaded encounters in order to make sure that we're getting a handle on the stun grenade system. Because we got that.
Yep.
Right. So now we're going to start with encounter number 4, which is titled, Of Course We Have Clearance.
Of course.
So here is the narrative for this spot. You reach the launch pad and quietly pick your way through the halls. To reach the launch pad, you quietly pick your way through the halls, passing the officers' quarters and communications room before spotting the hatch that leads you to your next destination. The listening post is oddly, almost ominously silent, and your footsteps echo softly through the hallways. As you round the corner in front of the hatch, you spot several guards in Imperial uniform standing in front of it. Perhaps the occupants of the base have been alerted to your presence, or maybe Lieutenant Serev, the base commander, is merely a stickler for security. Either way, you'll need to get past these guards to reach the launch pad where you can disable the shuttle to prevent Serev's escape. All right, now let me figure out how many guards there are here while you guys talk.
So
Where's the launch pad?
The launch pad's up there.
Okay.
And there's guards 4? She's figuring out how many.
Yeah.
Where do they say the guards were?
at the
They're at
hatch.
the entrance, yep.
Are these?
So
We don't know which guards there are yet.
I think
I think it's going to be 4. Let me just make sure.
if it's 4, that seems like a lot of
Yeah.
people to put
One
right in front
launch
of the
pad
hatch.
guard per PC.
Wow, they are like stacked in there.
Yeah. Well, the map isn't to scale. It's just to give you a reference of where you are. For real. Yeah, because like you are not bigger than the walkers.
I thought I was the biggest Mon Calamari ever.
Ever. It's like seafood buffet.
Hey.
All right. So they're all right. You guys are approaching. You see them. They have not seen you yet. What do you do?
Take aim.
Pass him my stun grenade. Pass Tendar my stun grenade.
It worked the first time.
I'll check it.
So we have 3 options.
When are we going to get to kill someone?
So
One
is
of
that
them
the-
is
Oh, to
fight.
shoot some people.
When you stop throwing stun grenades. That would be the answer.
We're too nice to these bad Empire people.
Well,
This
the
is like
thing, the way they treat the starter set, the beginner game at least so far, from what I've read, is kind of like in the movies. You don't really see people die. The chaff, the nobodies. You don't really see them die. They get shot, they fall down. But you don't see people bleeding to death and stuff like that, right? So the way this game treats it so far is when you get an NPC past their threshold, they're just defeated. That's
So there's
it.
no real difference between a stun grenade and a frag grenade?
For NPCs, no. For PCs, yeah, or maybe for the tougher NPCs later in the book. But to start, they have no strain threshold.
These are quote-unquote minions.
Yeah.
Dumb stormtroopers.
Yeah. And when you think about it in the movies, they one shot, one kill. Even if you hit them in the shoulder, they're done, right?
Well, it's a laser.
It is.
Yeah.
But, just the shoulder.
It's not a
Anyway.
laser.
So we had 3 options, one of which is fight. The PCs can simply attack the guards.
Well, no,
which
I
really
was just-
should have been option 1.
I do like the whole hand stun grenade thrown up there.
Yeah.
I was
go
just-
ahead.
I was just
it's
being
still
silly.
an attack. It's still an attack.
Yeah.
It's still a fight. An initiative is predetermined if you do fight. Blah, 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 blah. I thought they
Of course,
had
there
an
could be
initiative.
20 more people on the launch pad, right?
Could
Yeah,
be.
there could be. Yeah.
Maybe we should be sneaky.
Well, I'd
How
like to
would
think
we-
that the stun grenade was pretty sneaky the first time for some reason.
It
It keeps them from
It's
like
so-
going, hey.
So for description's purposes, we peeked around the corner and there's a hatch, and there's 4 gentlemen standing in front of it in
Yeah.
Imperial Guard uniforms.
you rounded the corner in front of the hatch and spot set 4 guards in Imperial uniform standing in front of it.
and they're all
They look like they're on guard.
they're all there
specifically.
shooting the shit. They're like,
Yes.
So can I take a knee and shoot at one of
Stacy
them?
wants to go on
Shoot him in the knee?
vacation, but it's really, really expensive. I never get
So,
breaks
yeah.
from this job.
I can't get a vacation
Oh,
because of these
Wookiee.
rebel scum.
Oh, Wookiee cock.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of hairy. Furball. Pardon?
Are you going to throw your stun grenade?
I can throw it.
Right.
And it's the
All right,
same
so
with
let's
the
do
2
it.
difficulty
We are-
thing.
It is medium range is average, which is 2 purple
Okay.
dice. Let's see what we got.
Oh, no.
All right, so
Do
We
you have any
have-
success?
no, and I
Okay.
have
Then it
one
does not succeed. And
one threat.
one threat. So we're going to use that threat right off the bat to cause you 1 strain.
And what is the difference between strain and wounds?
Strain
Strain's
is
like mental
non-lethal.
anguish.
Yeah. Strain you pass out from. Wounds you die
Strain represent exhaustion.
So wounds are closer to
Wounds
traditional
represent
hit points.
physical
Yeah.
damage.
from. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so that failed. Now we need initiative. So let me see. Initiative order is normally determined by means of a skill check performed by each participant. A participant?
Participant.
Like a
Participant.
participant is a participating elephant, just so you know.
Oh no!
A character makes a cool check if expecting a fight. If the character was not expecting a fight, so for me that's going to be the bad guys, they make a vigilance check instead. All right, so then once we make them, then we rank them in order from the most success symbols to the fewest. If there is a tie, the one with more advantage is ranked higher. All right, so it only counts success and advantage. I need to roll as well. So let's see. These guys have this. And you're going to add one. Hold on. These are simple checks and no purple dice are added. So
Cool for us.
Yes.
it is cool for you. Vigilance for me because they were not expecting an attack. All right. So we're going to go around. First off, who has one success? All right. Who has two?
Me.
Who has three? Did you roll?
I did.
Did you have any?
No.
All right. So it will be who had three?
I have two.
Two. You had
with
two.
2 advantages.
How many advantage did you?
One advantage for me.
Okay. So he's first. He's second. You had how many? One. How many advantage? 3. So he's next. Then the NPCs, and then you.
Damn.
Zal. Okay, because I had one success with 3 advantages for the NPCs. I actually got to roll 2 green and a purple for that. It's pretty good. Okay, so here we go. The grenade was apparently a dud, but it rolled and hit one of them in the feet, and you guys are just ready to fight.
Yep.
So who's up first?
Me.
Taco.
Taco.
All right.
Taco.
So I'm maneuvering.
Hit
So
it
I'm
with
going
the
to take cover against this little wall here, and then I'm going to blast around the corner at the guys.
Okay.
Hopefully shoot one of them.
All right. Now, because you are taking cover first, I'm going to make it. I'm looking here in the book because it gives me some advice on a couple of these pieces.
Gonna give me a boost.
So first off, now it would give you a little bit of a negative because you're behind something, but then they'll get a negative to shoot at you as well. I believe is how they word it.
Now, if you want a boost, you got to take aim.
Yeah.
You got to use a maneuver aim to get a boost.
I'd like to think
Yeah.
as an engineer I'm not going to aim.
Okay. All right. So if it's made a melee roll range. So what is the range?
Medium.
Medium. All right. So it's 2 purple dice. Add 2 purple
Well, no.
to your check.
Just that's the longest he's able to shoot with that.
Okay.
The range is short
Okay.
because
Yeah, we
we're
should
only.
be-
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, we don't know how far this actually is.
That's
I mean,
true.
It doesn't say how far it is.
in the
But
grand scheme of things, it looks like a very short hallway.
what is the skill that it's using? Is it ranged light?
Yes.
Okay. So if the attacker is engaged with his or her target, have you proposed to this guy?
Yes.
Okay. Then it's an
It
average
was a
check.
quick courting process.
So this is
Animal
specific.
attraction.
It is specific in that it says if the attacker is engaged with his or her target, it is an average check. That's 2 purple difficulty dice.
So
If it's made with the melee, brawl, or ranged light skill, and that's is being made with that skill.
but are we engaged yet? Like they're not
In
face
this
to face
case,
with us
yeah.
yet.
I mean, we're in initiative.
Yeah.
That's the way I'm seeing it. We're in initiative.
All right.
Okay.
There we go.
All right.
We'll go straight with that.
2
I
successes,
have
1
2
threat.
successes with a threat.
Okay. Now, take 1 strain.
Strain.
Yep. And your 2 successes will do how much damage?
All right. So blaster pistol is D6 plus
Well, not a d6.
it's 6 damage plus 1 damage per uncanceled success. So I guess 2 more. So that would be 8 damage.
Okay. So you shoot one guy. And he is definitely more sturdy than the others, I think. Let me
He's got a
just make sure
nice
here.
helmet.
I forgot. That was the droid I was just looking at. That wasn't the droid I was looking for. So you said 8.
So do you have the sweet Han Solo blaster, or do you have the little Queen Amidala blaster?
I think that he probably has a Queen Amidala blaster, but it's like sort of messier, like he made it himself.
That's pretty good. Okay, so that is actually enough damage to take one out. So remove one of those counters.
Told you he
Way
went.
to go,
AE.
Engineer Squid Dude.
All right, who's up next?
JJ.
AJ.
I will also shoot him with my blaster rifle.
Okay, and what is that? Ranged
Long. Ranged heavy.
Heavy.
heavy. So heavy, you had 3 purple dice to that.
See, I don't
think that's how it works, but
correct.
sure.
But we're gonna
All right. Well, hold on a second.
because it's
here.
a short hallway with a blaster rifle.
Hold
I would
on.
think you'd get
If the
better.
attacker is engaged with the target and it is made with the ranged heavy skill, it is a hard check.
And
Add
I
3
totally
difficulty
get that
dice
if
to the dice
he's
pool.
like Mike away from me and I'm trying to get
No,
a big
not
gun in
engaged
front.
in melee. It is engaged. You're engaged with the target.
I think maybe because it does more damage and it's a harder check.
No,
or it's harder to shoot.
I won't shoot. Then I'll just wait for him to. I will hold my action then because I'm not going to roll 3 disadvantage.
So, when fighting in a battle, one of the most basic and important actions a character can do, to perform. Wow, that's a typo. To perform, is to make an attack with an
Can
available
to
weapon
perform.
against the target in range. First, the attacker should compare the range to the target against the listed range for the weapon. Okay, so we're saying the guy's at short range.
Okay.
If the target is too far away, the attacker must move closer, choose a different target for the attack, or do something else. Attacks are skill checks, and the skill used is determined by the weapon. The skill used to attack with a given weapon is listed in its description. The active character should gather the dice for the dice pool as indicated for the relevant skill. So the difficulty of an attack check is determined by the circumstances of the check. If it's at short range, it's easy, and that's what we started with to begin. And if it's at medium range, it's average. If it's at long range, it's hard.
So there you go.
Right, but this
so
is
it'd be
short range.
This is
easy.
a short range, so it's only 1 purple
All right,
dice.
so then what we'll need to do is figure out what engaged means.
It
got
means
that?
when you make a commitment to them.
Yeah, exactly. But
And you give them some jewelry.
all right, so it may mean a range here as a range.
Engaged means 2 characters engaged with each other are in very close proximity.
Right.
A character needs to be engaged with
So
a
you're
target.
reading the rule book, but it's right here on this page because
Okay.
you're not supposed to read the rule book yet.
A character
Characters
needs to
are
be
close enough to touch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, so then you.
So
would
we
get a
are not
disadvantage.
engaged.
Okay.
You're just at short range.
I'm just at
Okay.
short range, so it's an easy.
It would be 1 difficulty die.
Okay.
And see, that's what I started with.
Yeah,
And
that
you
makes
guys
sense.
said it was wrong, so I read the other one. And then you said that was wrong. So we're back to the one that you said was wrong the first time.
Hey, we're
So
learning.
I know. But I'm learning too, but I'm the one that's being told I'm wrong.
Get 'em.
That's all.
Oh, we love you.
I
You're
know.
the best. We
I
brought
love
you
me.
food.
I love me more.
Aw.
I have 3 successes total.
All right. So that
Um,
means extra damage.
Ooh, that means bonuses.
That means
Yeah.
that
I'm
means
going
another
To,
dead guy.
I'm going to do 12 damage.
Yes.
Dang.
You get a
And
critical hit injury.
and the amount that takes to knock one out is 8.
Wow.
Yeah.
so he's down.
So it's pretty easy to shoot these guys, one shot and he's down. Who's up next?
I am, and I am.
Kale chips.
Kale chips.
Kale
is up.
chips.
Lieutenant Chips.
Chippy.
Get him chips.
I'm also going to use the heavy blaster rifle, although I'm tempted
Go
to
ahead.
try the vibro knife just for variety. But
Oh, yeah.
heavy blaster rifle.
I think you need to propose
We
to him for
determine
that.
that is for me 2 yellows and a green against 1 purple. Ranged heavy. 2
Up
yellows
here.
and green.
Yep.
2 yellows and a green.
And then
Yes,
one.
one
and
for the
purple.
short range. You got it.
Come on, daddy.
Call me daddy now. That's nice.
2, 3, 4.
You like it when he
He's
calls
calling
you
me
daddy.
baby earlier.
1
mean, baby
success
daddy.
and 2 advantages.
like it.
Nat.
Say one more time. How
1
many?
success and 2 advantages.
So you were
Advantages take-
successful. Okay.
Yes.
So how much damage does that do?
There was another option
11.
if you had 2 advantages. You could use it for strain or for.
You could use 2 advantages to give a boost die to the next person attacking that target, but I'm pretty sure with your damage you're just going to kill it, which makes it irrelevant.
Now, what would it says a maneuver may include aim. Would it have changed anything if I aimed or didn't aim?
Aim allows you to roll this dice as well.
Yeah. You add a boost
You get a
die.
boost.
Can I pretend I aimed?
Well, you're already giving him 11 damage,
Yeah.
so I think you're going to kill him.
I think so.
That's a good point. Okay,
So we'll start by killing him.
let's just kill him.
Do you have any strain?
I have no strain.
All right.
His helmet explodes.
And
So for
he's
now,
the next.
yeah, for now we'll just kind of ignore what's next. So the last guy,
He's gonna run away and cry to his mama.
yeah, he probably should, but you know how they go.
You ready, Mickey?
Let me just.
He's instead
The
going to
NPCs go
grab
first,
a grenade and run right at us.
Okay, so if the PC's attack, one of the guards calls for reinforcements at the start of his first turn.
Oh, crap.
Mommy.
See, this is where I should have jammed communications.
And this is.
I thought we cut
All right.
communication.
So
But I
the-
guess
well,
to the
no.
outside.
To the outside, yeah, but
The guard shouts into his comm, the rebel scum are here! And he shoots.
Balls.
Let's see. And now I get to shoot. Shoot! So they use a blaster carbine.
Do you have a comm suite as well?
And
Check
What?
your items.
that.
Nope.
Did
I have a comm link.
did anybody else say they went around the corner to shoot? I
No.
think you're the only one that did.
I was just peeking around
All right,
there.
so he's just going to shoot at you, Kale, because you were the last one that shot.
Kill chips.
That just makes sense to me. All right, so I have success with one threat. Ooh. So you get shot. 9 damage.
oh dear.
Dang.
9.
Now, do I get to use a soak value against
Yes.
this?
Yes.
Always,
Right.
always,
So, of course.
always.
So, for the listeners at home, soak value is kind of a AC.
Yes.
it's
right.
an armor from Andara, sort of. Remember
Do you remember
Indara?
an Indara?
Yeah, it says soak
It's damage resistance.
is equal to the sum of your brawn and the value of your armor. So I'm 5 on that. So if I took 9 hit, then I guess I would net 4
4.
wounds.
Yep.
Yes.
So my
4
wounds fall from
wounds.
13 to 9. But that's all right because I am brawny and handsome.
Great. How about your character? All right, I think we go to Zal.
Finally.
Go ahead, Zal. Hi.
Hi, everyone.
You want to attack?
Back from my nap. All right, so Zal takes a knee and aims,
Okay. So you
and
get
she
to
will shoot
add.
with her heavy blaster pistol.
All right, so then you get to add a boost die.
And which one are the boosters?
Booster
The one, that one, yeah. And you have the one purple in there?
What a purple.
It is slightly difficult.
Who needs purple? Fuck that shit.
I get the feeling this guy's dead.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
How much damage? Because I see a lot of
7
success out
damage.
there.
Plus the number of successes.
Plus
Yeah.
the number of successes.
And there is like 5.
There's no
4,
failure,
5.
so that's one. Yeah.
12 damage.
I see 5.
That's
Wow.
5.
Whoa, he's dead. And because he raised the alarm, 2 more show up.
Can I shoot them too?
Nope, they're going to shoot you guys first.
No, fuck that.
An additional 2 launch pad guards arrive at the start of the second round. And they are going to shoot first.
And ask questions
And
later.
they come in, I guess, through the hatch right as you shoot the last guy. And they shoot at you.
At me?
At you. Because you're the one that just shot. And we'll see here.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that can't be canceled out, so it's a success. Because he got the super awesome. What's the name of that symbol again?
Triumph.
Triumph.
What is that? Which one?
It's a triumph.
At the triumph symbol. They cannot cancel it out.
It's bullshit.
Yes. So you get shot, and it is 9 damage.
Dang.
Their
So-
damage is just straight up 9.
9 damage.
Yeah.
I soak up 4, so
Yeah.
it's 5. My wounds go from 12 to 7.
You got it. And
Or
the
you
other
just
one.
start at 5 and add to 12.
Shut your pie hole.
Oh, did not succeed.
Oh, wow.
All right, I got 2 blank dice and 1 advantage. Go figure. So the second guy shot and did not hit. So we're back to the beginning of the order again then.
All right.
Taco.
So Taco's going to shift back over
What?
to the middle and blow one of those guys away with his little blaster pistol.
All right, Kurt has a question.
I was just curious about the mechanic on the triumph symbol.
Yeah.
Where does it say that it can't be canceled?
It says it in the book, easier than it says it on that paper.
It's a powerful positive consequence.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I guess
And the
it kind
despair
of says
symbol
it
is
by
the
not
equivalent.
saying it. The other ones say what they can be canceled by. It does not say it can be canceled because it cannot.
So since it doesn't say
It should
yeah.
spell out that it cannot. It does in the book.
Okay.
But it doesn't on the paper.
Cool. What die was that on?
All right. So
It's
The
I
always the
yellow
yellow
have,
one. It's always the good dice.
Yeah.
I have
What
2
you got?
successes
Two
And
successes.
nothing else.
and nothing else.
Wow.
So that
All
is
blank. That's
8
nice.
damage.
What are the
8.
odds of that?
All right, so that's 1 down. And who's after?
Vendry.
Taco?
Vendry.
Go ahead, Vendry.
Fandry shifts back over.
Shifty. He's a shifty botanist.
Oh.
I
You
have.
Talk to me, Goose.
That's a failure with advantage.
How's that a failure? You have 2 successes.
I have 2 successes and 2
2
fails.
failures. So
Yeah,
that's
so it's
neutral.
So it's
not
like
a
a
success.
nothing.
It's not a success.
So I have
He
2
has 2
advantage.
advantages.
Okay.
So I
Not
remove a strain.
You're useless.
Now with those 2 advantages, you can give somebody else a boost
Ooh, yeah.
die to attack
Yeah.
him since you didn't kill him, since you did not hit him.
Get
Sure,
him,
I'll
get
give
him
it-
K-Money.
Kale.
Give boost to him.
All right.
All right.
So-
Are there 2 left or 1 left?
Yeah,
One
so
left.
One.
So in
Chipper.
order to dodge my attack, he had to dip into yours.
Yeah.
And he's also get the blue. All right.
All right. So we are going to do another heavy blaster rifle attack.
Are you
with
going
the
to
boost.
aim first?
You can.
Kale aims. Yeah, you still get
You
that.
still get that.
You get
I'm giving
another
you
one.
that.
Yes.
And then if you take aim, you also get that.
Yes.
You
Go
get
for it.
super awesome. Everything is awesome.
Everything is
I got this-
awesome.
All
right.
All right. These 2 cancel.
Hey,
These 2.
It,
2.
He
2
crits.
successes with 4 advantages,
which is a crit.
critical hit
nice.
or a critical injury on a hit.
Yeah.
Plus 2 for that, so it's going to be 12 damage plus whatever critical injury is.
That means that his head explodes.
What happens to NPCs? A critical injury kills them.
Automatically, no matter no matter how
Oh,
you do
nice.
it.
Instant
Do not
kill.
pass go. Do not collect $200.
So you took out the last one. And
It's good to be Kale.
His head pops like a balloon, and his little helmet flies up in the air and then drops down right on top of his neck.
that happened. Perfect. All right,
You
so
watched
here,
too
here we
many
get to the
cartoons as a
next
kid.
the next flavor text here. You step out onto the launch pad, a large platform cut into the mountainside. Inside the chamber sits a slightly battered Lambda-class shuttle, surrounded by heavy crates filled with spare parts and maintenance tools. The vessel is currently offline, and there are no other guards on the launch pad. To capture this base as a foothold for the Rebel Alliance, you must prevent its command staff from escaping, and this is the place they are most likely to run first. After all, the alternative is a long walk through a deadly jungle. How do you tackle this problem?
Do these turrets can they revolve 360?
I'm going through what options they print.
You want to
give you
program them to watch the entrance?
Because of the way this is printed, I'm going to say no, they cannot face the inside of the base.
Which makes
okay.
sense.
I was going to make it so that
Only because it doesn't give me an option for doing so.
I was going to use them to blow up the ship.
But I have 3 other printed options here that you guys can approach. And we'll see what you pick.
See, if this wasn't a pre-done adventure, I would think you could just take the ship.
But then you leave and do what?
Yeah.
I mean, you'd strand them here, so then the
Yeah, but you're not taking over the base. You're supposed to be taking over the base.
What do we have in here? Like, what do we see? We see the ship. We see the...
There are crates and what was in the crates? Heavy crates filled with spare parts and maintenance tools. The vessel is currently offline, and there are no other guards around.
All right, so Val being the ace, she's going to try to disable the ship.
Ooh, I like that. How?
She's going to take out the hyperdrive, or a critical piece of the hyperdrive. Yeah. that's
So
it.
you're going to... We'll use option 2 here, which is manually disconnect
I'm
the
gonna-
shuttle's engines.
Yeah,
There you
I'm
go.
gonna
Sounds right.
Disconnect the engines. There we go.
Because it can still fly without the hyperdrive.
Yes,
So-
I realized that after I said it.
It's
Thank you,
okay.
Taco.
Doing so...
I am a mechanic.
requires 1 PC to make an average, which is 2 purple difficulty die, mechanics check. However, this method can be particularly noisy, and so the PC suffer a setback die on this check.
That's
So
you
a
add the black die to
die.
it.
Are you the right one to be making this check? Do you have
Nope.
mechanics?
It's mechanics.
She is not the right one to be making this check.
Probably
Well,
engineer guy.
I mean, I am a mechanic. I
So do
don't
you
have
want
a-
to assist? You want to do
wanna
it?
There's
do it?
no assist at this point in the game. There may be somewhere, but there isn't in this check. So
Hey, mechanic guy,
one
take
person
out the
should-
ship.
one person should do it.
All
Why
right.
is this up here?
Because it hurts on my ear.
It hurts. It hurts us.
It hurts.
All right. So 2 purple and a black, right?
You have 2 purple and a black added to your dice pool.
Can I shut the doors so that the noises aren't quite as...
You can, but it won't make a difference for this purpose. We can even say it's shut already.
Okay.
That's a lot.
I
That's
got
a
a
triumph.
Nice.
Let's see. That's 3 successes.
So when you do
minus
that,
2.
you
So-
automatically succeed,
With
and
a-
you automatically have 1 advantage.
Okay, so that cancels that out. So I have a success.
All right. And do you have any threat?
No,
Well,
because of
no,
the one
'cause
advantage.
The
Okay.
advantage cancels out the threat.
Okay.
That's
So-
not advantage, right? That's triumph.
That's
Yeah, but
triumph.
apparently
it counts
get
as
an
a success
It's-
and advantage.
It does, yes.
Ah,
That's a key piece there. It counts as success symbols. as well.
So I have 1 success.
2 success.
Yeah.
Because it's 1 and 1.
Yep.
2
Yep,
success.
you are correct. Correct.
Okay. So you disable or you manually disconnect the shuttle's engines.
Yep.
That's it.
What else
Curious,
is around
can
here?
I know what happened? What were the other 2 options?
Slice into the shuttle's computer and disable its systems, or barricade the doors and leave through the vents. Not sure why someone would even think that. They didn't even describe
Yeah, they
vents,
didn't even
describe
say
events.
vents.
but that's there.
But yeah.
yes.
But
So slicing is like hacking in Star Wars.
yeah.
Or
Splicing, what do they call it?
or slicing is you stuck your vibro blade into it.
Also true.
But it does say, so like the barricading the doors and leave through the vents, it says if the PCs do not wish to cripple the shuttle, they might choose to block the access hatch to the launch pad, then leave through the ventilation shaft.
Well,
Right,
I disconnected it, so it
Yeah.
can be rehooked up if we
Right.
want to take this to leave.
No, like you take a vital piece out of it, right?
Sure.
Yeah, like you took the Hydro spanner. I don't know.
Yep.
You took the doohickey
I,
that connects to the thingamajig.
So
I
here's what
took one
we're
of the
going to
belts
do.
off.
That was the end of Encounter 4, and there's an interlude here that we're going to do before we stop this recording, and it is called Experience and Destiny.
Destiny.
Up until now, in case you guys hadn't guessed this, listen to this first sentence. Up until now, the adventure has been deliberately very linear to help teach the game and ensure that the critical plot elements have been put in place. Right. But now you've accomplished the majority of your goals and can strike at the control center. So now it's time to award some experience and learn about Destiny. What? So, experience rewards. You are awarded experience by the GM, typically, at the end of every play session. Then you spend those points to purchase new ranks of skills and things of that type. So now that the PCs have completed one of their primary story goals, they are awarded 10 experience. Each of the hero players should turn to the next page of his or her character folio now, where the level up procedure is explained. You should also be sure to note the strain and or wounds you have suffered, because you keep those. They would transfer for the first sheet to the new one, or just make sure you don't erase them from your scratch paper. So the Destiny pool we are going to build, I'm going to do that actually at the beginning of the next session, because that's what's going to carry us into Encounter 5. But we're going to finish this one now with the characters leveling up, and we're going to move on to the next encounter in the next session. All right?
Very nice.
All right.
All right, we're good. So you guys made it through Encounter 4 of the Star Wars Age of Rebellion beginner game rather easily, as it probably should be.
I
in a
think
beginner
that
game.
Taco the Calamari is awesome because he kicks some butt.
He is stunningly awesome.
Stunningly awesome.
Yeah. All right, everybody, want to say
Bye.
Wookie penis.
Our hero characters have made their way deep inside Whisper Base. Tune in for Episode 2 to hear how the characters advance, how the Destiny Pool works, and how the story further unfolds. Thanks for joining us. The preceding podcast was brought to you by Shedcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com.